so sad leaving Seoul today. I'm gonna really try to treasure this cold weather because Cambodia, oh, it's gonna be steaming hot. I'm looking for this rib place I saw the first week I was here. Looks amazing. The picture looks amazing. We'll see how it actually tastes, but once you see the picture, you'll know why I was so fascinated by it. But honestly, I am so sad to be leaving. I don't know why. I never loved the city more than I loved it on this trip. I don't know why. Oh, here it is. I mean, can you blame me when I walked by and saw a picture of that? I did a double, triple, quadruple take. Oh, that looks crazy. I have no idea what the difference is though right here, but I'm going for that. This is part of the reason I'm gonna miss this country, like just walking around and spotting pictures like that. That's just so irresistibly beautiful. One thing I think South Korea is much better at than say Japan is there's so many cafes here that you can just go in there and take your laptop and just work the entire day, and they even give you discounts for staying longer. In Japan, it's like I can rarely find a cafe anywhere that allows that. Okay, gotta be honest, it's not exactly what I saw in the photos. It's a tempura shrimp on top. I mean, it's still pretty, but not as pretty as I saw in the photos. And don't get me wrong, it still looks good. But this could definitely be one of those expectation versus reality kind of videos. The most important thing, let's see how it tastes. The flavor is not bad. Ooh, really spicy. Like volcanic fire spicy. It's definitely not like one of those fall off the bone tender ribs. It got some chew to it, but I don't hate that. The more you chew, the more flavorful it is. Yeah, I like that. It's a little sweet, pretty rich flavor. There's definitely a lot of soy sauce in here. A lot of chilies. I mean, this thing is very spicy. I think that's the part I like most about it. Man, I appreciate a real spicy broth. These ribs are so spicy. The spicy kimchi is helping my tongue cool down. So it'll be pretty good. The tempura shrimp. Soak it up, all that spicy juice. Oh my god. My chili went down the pipe roll. An 8 out of 10 on heat and about a 7.5 out of 10 on flavor. This beer was more fall off the bone. The only thing that throws me off is that this is a tad sweeter than I like. I think if they lower the sugar level a little bit, this would be dramatically better. I'm trying to be careful taking the meat off the bone with my chopsticks, guys. If any one little speck of this broth ricochets into my eye, I'll be going to Cambodia blind. Gonna wrap a seaweed on there, eat it with a perilla leaf, and then dunk the seaweed back into this spicy mixture and let that seaweed soak up all that great chili sauce. This is gonna burn. That definitely made it better. A little chew from the seaweed and the aroma from the perilla leaves kind of disguised the sugar level in this a lot. Overall, this is not bad eating. I enjoyed this sauce a lot, especially on a cold day like this. All right, definitely one of those things that I'm glad I tried it because the picture looks so good. So I'm not going home wondering about this spicy, chili covered ribs that I saw one day in a random alley. Also, it heated me up because it's freezing outside. But I definitely think this is one of those things where, no offense, but I'm not gonna miss you when I leave. I mean, look at that. Doesn't that look so much better than what I got? I didn't even see that much garlic in mine. Oh well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you get a great pot of ribs, sometimes just okay. But the important thing is, just like in dating, you gotta shoot your shot. All right, it's time to go to the airport. It's still really early, but I'm getting kicked out of my hotel room, so really have nowhere to go. But the airport is huge, and it is probably what I would consider the second best airport in the world in terms of all the fun stuff and the food that's there. So let's go over there, take a look around. So maybe we'll do a little airport touring today. Let's go to Cambodia in like 6 hours. Are we in the future? Dude's driving around on scooter. Look at this. This robot is showing people where to go. I don't know if I would trust a robot. That is creepy looking.
좋아요. 30초 동안 제 옆으로 와서 포즈를 취한 후 휴대폰이나 카메라로 사진을 찍어주세요.
Love you. It's kind of inappropriate. Just met. Flying Asiana business class, and there is a premium check-in. That's cool. And I'm in Terminal 1 right now, so apparently Asiana and Korean Airlines, those are two major airlines for South Korea. If you're flying Korean Airlines, you will be at Terminal 2, which is the newer, remodeled one. And Asiana takes Terminal 1 because they just can't play well together, you know? But each terminal has their own facilities for passing time and different restaurants. So we're gonna explore Terminal 1 and see what they have to offer. And this is where the robot lives. You know what? Probably would have gotten like a whole less feminine looking passport ID just right here. It's cheaper too. You know, you can get passport photos taken in airports. Welcome to Korean Cultural Street. It's basically vendor booths set up in traditional architecture. Also, this is where they have like a lot of street food, I guess. We're not on the street, obviously. It's pretty though, right? It's almost like a little miniature museum inside the airport. So you get here a little earlier, or you land a little earlier, you don't have anywhere to go. Just come up here, you can relax, learn a little more about traditional Korean culture, Korean history. It's just a nice, serene little environment. And on either side are a lot of restaurants. You got your traditional Korean food, you got your Paris baguettes, and here it is. If you keep walking, you're gonna hit the Korean street food section. There you go. This little section has all sorts of Korean street food. I mean, dumplings, fish cake, ramen. It does have a lot of stuff here. So if you missed out on a lot of traditional Korean street food, you can find some of them here. So basically this entire little walkway on the second floor, it's all culture, history, food. That's all it is. And that's why I like coming in here early sometimes, just taking a walk around. History, good. Culture, good. Food, really good. I like coming into this little cafe. It's really cool. You get traditional Korean tea and desserts, which usually involves some sort of rice cake. And you get to eat it there. This area I love the most. Look at this. It's like a traditional little temple. Dessert's ready. These are little traditional rice cakes, and this is one of my favorite drinks in Korea, and it's made with sweet rice. There are a lot of people sleeping in there, so we're just gonna hang out over here. This is so good. Nothing inside, like a little sweet, almost fermented, really airy mochi-esque dough. It goes perfect with this drink. It's just simply delicious. Like, this is seriously one of my favorite places to come at this airport and just have a little snack, you know? Even if you're not hungry. I love the little bottom bits with the rice. Oh, so good. Go sit a little bit. Good place just to hang out a little bit. I mean, sitting here is so much better than checking into the gate and sitting on a cramped waiting area with like hundreds of other people. Here, nobody even comes up here. I don't even think a lot of people know that this place exists. Now you do. Now you know where to go. If I bend down and walk slowly, does it look like I'm walking in an old Korean neighborhood? And if I stand up, and this is the rooftop, and I stand up, do I look like a titan? This is another really cool dessert shop I like. Oh, I love this. How pretty, right? Soy powder ice cream. I made the mistake of biting into that. Oh, this is so good. This thing, when you get to the middle of this ice cream ball, it's a little piece of mochi. Reason 6,589 why I love South Korea. There's rice cakes and everything. If it involves desserts, you know rice cake's gonna show up eventually. I got rice cakes on the bottom here. I got rice cakes in my little ice cream balls here. We got the same nuts and fruits on the bottom of this bowl as well. I know eventually I think I should be eating some like actual non-ice cream food or non-dessert food or non-rice cake food. For now, I'm just gonna enjoy this. Something you really can't find anywhere else. They have these really cool traditional wardrobes being worn, and what they do is every now and then they walk through the airport, kind of like a imperial ceremony. It's really, really neat. Those are the warriors, and in the middle is the empress and the emperor. So the royal family and their consorts, and it's just really neat, you know, how like this airport just embraces culture. Everything is so bright and festive. This is an airport like you wouldn't mind coming early just to hang out, you know, grab some dessert, look through some artifacts, just wander around. I mean, it's fun, it's bright, it's happy. It's basically the opposite of JFK. It's also cultural concerts. Holidays are kind of an interesting time for me. As I'm filming this right now, it's about 3 days till Thanksgiving. I will be spending Thanksgiving in an airplane, flying back to Seattle. It's going to be about a 30-hour travel time between Cambodia to Seattle, and about 26 of those hours are actually in the air. So I will literally be, yeah, maybe they serve turkey. A lot of people ask me whether I get lonely or I get homesick or something, travel around by myself. Honestly, yes and no. Most of the time a holiday is just a holiday for me. Like often in New York, I didn't even know it would be a major holiday until I was driving in Manhattan and noticed that there was no traffic today. Something must be up. So usually I enjoy my work so much that I don't really think about holidays or anything, but sometimes when things do slow down a little bit, you have more time to kind of just sit there and think about stuff, then you're like, huh, everybody else is with family, doing family stuff, and I'm on an airplane. And that fried chicken must be loaded, I mean, with a huge bank account, because it's got a ton of dough. So I guess I'll just keep doing it till, I don't know, one day I just feel like I'm not having fun anymore, or maybe the loneliness does catch up with me. But a lot of reason why I don't feel lonely is because you guys, you know, talked about it before. I mean, I feel like I've got millions of friends traveling with me, and it doesn't really get boring, doesn't really get lonely. I never feel like I'm on my own, if that makes sense. Anyway, plan is to go to Cambodia. I'm not staying that many days. I'm staying 3 nights, 3 full days of filming. My first time in Cambodia. And the reason I'm not staying a long time is because I have a big trip coming up to Egypt, Pakistan, and that's coming up really soon. So I need to go back home, take care of some stuff, like get my car fixed, make sure no one broke into my apartment yet, you know, things like that. Also maybe a belated Thanksgiving turkey. Alright, food choices are between tomato beef stew or halibut with black bean sauce. Hey, at least it wasn't bibimbap again. But the Western choices look pretty bad. Tomato and beef stew. I think I'm gonna go for the Korean menu. This meal is pretty refreshing. A lot of veggies, a lot of crunch. I like this better than the bibimbap. The bulgogi is good, a little sweet, marinated well, pretty tender. I really like the fermented bean soup. It's got good flavor. And this meal is really designed to not make you feel too heavy after eating it. I appreciate that because as soon as I land, I'm going to bed. All the veggies are really fresh. It's pretty easy to make a sum. It's a good tasting sum. This is definitely a better choice than the tomato and stewed beef, I'm sure. Good anime. See you in Cambodia. Welcome to the Kingdom of Cambodia. Love the exhilarating feeling I get whenever I'm entering a country I've never been before, even though it's at like 1 a.m. right now. Nice room, massive. Only bad thing about a room with such high ceilings and so big is that if a mosquito does get in here, it's almost impossible to kill. And it's taking forever to cool down. So a couple of things I learned about coming into this country. If you're interested in ever coming to Cambodia, you don't need to pre-apply for a visa. You just show up at the airport, you're directed to a visa on arrival line, and then you give them 30 US dollars. It's very important. Bring cash, 30 US dollars, give it to them, they give you your visa right there. Now, I read in a lot of websites that you needed a passport photo. That's not true. You don't need a passport photo. At least I did not need a passport photo. So I took a bunch of passport photos. They turned out great, all K-poppy and stuff. That's awesome. Here it is again, take a look. But you do not actually need a passport photo. They accept US currency here like everybody does. They love it, so you don't really need to exchange money if you're from the US. Also, apparently most people speak English. Anyway, my first time here, I'm so excited. I'm only here for three nights because like I said, I want to come see what it's like, get as much as I can because I was sort of close when I was in Korea. But I do kind of want to go home and take care of all my errands and all the stuff. I haven't been home in like a long time. So 3 nights, gonna pig out, and then I'm gonna go home. Sad about leaving South Korea, but very excited to be here. All right, I gotta do some work, go to bed. Bright and early tomorrow, we got a huge food day. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Good night.